So here I am today at Point Hut Crossing, which is on the Murrumbidgee River just adjacent to Canberra. It's a fabulous and very well known birdwatching spot. This is a place where you have the Murrumbidgee River, which runs right through the ACT, comes close to the city, and at this location we have a whole series of different sorts of vegetations along the edge of the river. We've got riverine trees such as the casuarinas, a lot of low scrub like tea tree, etc. So we get a good mix of birds here. Species along the water course like cormorants and kingfishers and other water birds. In the tea tree and scrub along the edge of the river, it's great protection for birds like thornbills and wrens. And then of course we also have migratory birds come up and down this corridor. So the Murrumbidgee River, and in particular Point Hut Crossing adjacent to Canberra, is a really good spot for some local bird watching out of Canberra. Point Hut is well known for its migration of honeyeaters. Now honeyeaters breed in the mountains adjacent to the ACT, in the Brindamellas, in Kosciuszko, and they move down to the coast every autumn. And as they move down to the coast, they tend to follow streamlines and tree lines for protection. And this location at Point Hut, I'm just standing near the edge of the river here, in these trees, at this time of the year, around about Easter, you get thousands and thousands and thousands of honeyeaters, mainly yellow-faced honeyeaters, but occasionally you get white napes and red wattlebirds will be travelling with them. But a great spot for watching the annual migration of honeyeaters here at Point Hut Crossing in April, around about Easter time. And this will be where you see not only lots of honeyeaters, but sometimes the birds of prey that tend to move along with them as well, like the peregrines and the hobbies. So Point Hut Crossing is actually a crossing on the Murrumbidgee River. You can see behind me the ford that goes across the river. Now just be careful if you're coming here, because at some times of the year that ford will be closed because the river will rise. There's signs on the road either side, but just be aware that if you're coming from the western side of the ACT, this crossing may be closed. If you're coming from Canberra itself, the city of Canberra is only 30 minutes away, and the township of the shopping centre of Tuggeranong is about 10 minutes away, so it's very close on the western side of Tuggeranong Valley. The facilities here are fabulous. There's a little picnic area, there's a little car park, there's toilets, and along the river itself there's walking trails. So you get relatively good access to a lot of the good bird watching points along the edge of the river. So it is a very easy place to get to, very convenient when you're here. Bring a picnic along, there's no food supplies here. Bring something to eat along and a drink. Great spot, particularly in the autumn when the bird migrations are happening. So what birds are we likely to get here at Point Hut? Well, there's a species list of around about 120 species for here. A lot of the common birds, you might be able to see the wood duck on the grass behind me here. I just saw some red wattlebirds going over, kookaburras calling, peewees calling, black cormorant down on the water itself. But of the 120 species, you'd expect to get a range of the sorts of birds like robins. There's 4 species of red robins are being recorded here, not the pink robin. Not the right spot for it. Yellow robins, of course, common. A lot of our migratory species like restless flycatchers and things will come through here, trillers. But one of the features for me is honeyeaters, and not only it's the autumn migration of the honeyeaters, but also you've got a tree creeper calling there in the background now. You've got about a dozen species of honeyeaters that could be recorded in this area, including the painted honeyeater, which could be found along the river here along at Point Hut. So a good spot for a range of relatively common birds, but a good spot for our summer migrants as well. So Point Hut Crossing, check it out, 120 species possible here.